What's up everyone, my name's Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon Challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Radical Red and today's challenge will be, can I beat Pokemon Radical Red using only Ash Ketchum's champion team. Now this is actually a pretty interesting challenge and there's some backstory to it, but first I actually have a sponsor for this video, so let's see that real quick. This video is sponsored by Yahaha Studio. Yahaha is a brand new user generated content creation platform for 3D multiplayer interactive experiences. So to give you a little demo of how to create your own game on Yahaha Studios, I am going to make a hide and seek game mode by starting in templates and clicking on the hide and seek template. This will load into an already created map for you. You could also click on the assets library. You want to click on the components tab to add behavioral player transformation, which will allow your player to transform into an item that you pick out on the map. From there we can move on into the assets library and click out on any of your favorite 3D assets. I'm going to click on this car right here, this Lamborghini. I'm going to put it in the spawn point so we can see it quickly, and then from there you also want to add a gameplay component onto this item. Specifically, you want to add the component that you just added, the behavioral player transformation, so you can actually transform into the item you added onto the map. And then from there you want to play test your game and then it should be ready. So Yahaha Studio is a very simple to use platform to explore your creativity, and you can get started today free by clicking my link in the description and download Yahaha Studios. And by clicking the link in the description, it will really help me and my channel out a lot. So thank you so much to Yahaha Studios for sponsoring this video. And we're back. Thank you again to Yahaha Studios for sponsoring this video. Let's actually get into the backstory of this challenge video. So if you guys do not know, in the anime, Ash Ketchum has become the world champion of the entire Pokemon region. He's beaten every single champion. He's the greatest trainer alive, apparently. He's actually prospered through a lot of different media networks. Today, we're actually going to try to beat Radical Red 3.1, the new update that I haven't played on, using only Ash Ketchum's world champion team. On screen right now is Ash's world champion team, and this is the team and the only Pokemon we can use throughout our entire adventure of Radical Red. So this will be kind of fun. One additional rule that I have for this challenge video, each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thanks so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge video. If you guys want me nicknamed after a future Pokemon, leave it in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. We're very close to 40k, and I appreciate you guys for giving me a lot of love on the newest videos that I've been posting, just outside of just Pokemon challenge videos, also supporting these challenge videos as well. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video. I said challenge video like 8 different times. Let's get started in this video by going out and getting our starter Pokemon. Since Ash actually for some reason doesn't have a traditional starter Pokemon in this Galar region he was in the anime for, so we have to actually go into the NES and actually activate a cheat code that allows us to see all the Dex nav in the Pokénav. We're able to find Pokemon easier, and our first Pokemon is going to be Ash's primary Pokemon, which is going to be a Pikachu. We're going to add Pikachu to our team and also, you know, get our first Pokemon so we get a Light Bulb for our Pikachu. Since we're not going to be able to evolve this Pikachu having a Light Bulb is going to be very useful. It almost doubles his offensive stats, which is crazy, just for an item. If that was any other Pokemon, that would be a broken Pokemon, but it's a Pikachu, so we should be fine. As we're going to move on into Pewter City, we're going to set it to nighttime and be able to capture our next Pokemon. Our next Pokemon that's going to be available for us is going to be a Ghastly in Pewter City. We're going to actually catch it and add it to our team. And then the final Pokemon technically is not available for us for a little while, but through the Egg Merchant in Pewter City, you're able to get a lot of different Pokemon, and we're looking for anyone that's on Ash's team. And on accident, we actually found a really good one. We found ourselves a Riolu as one of the Pokemon from Ash's team. For some reason, Ash has a Lucario, and I want to mention before we actually get into the gym fights, I'm not going to use any Mega Evolutions. I know there's multiple Pokemon on Ash's team that has Mega Evolutions. I'm not going to do that since he didn't do that in the anime. Anyways, we're not going to use any Megas as we face off against Falkner, and Pikachu is super good as Pikachu is able to beat down Falkner's entire team. It kind of bugs me that Pikachu is a female here, even though in the anime he's a male, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, from there we're going to face off against Brock next. Brock is going to be the first gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Pikachu to fake out and then go into my Ghastly to knock out his Geodude, which is a pretty easy fight for us. Next up, he's going to switch out into his Vulpix. His Vulpix does have Ominous Wind. I want to switch out into my Pikachu, which actually forces him to switch out into his Onix. So everyone's just switching out as much as they can. And from there, I'm going to switch out into my Riolu, so I'm able to Force Palm and knock him out. And then his next Pokemon will be an Arcan. I'm going to sack my Riolu, which is fine. I go out into my Pikachu. Electro Ball will knock out the Arcan and also the Vulpix as I get the first gym badge in the game. Super simple. From there, since we're playing on the new update of Radical Red 3.1, there's actually new sprites on the overworld of the Pokédens where you do raid battles. They're not different at all, they just have a different sprite, but it's pretty cool. From there, we're actually going to move on and face off against Mount Moon and the mini bosses in here. We're able to clear Mount Moon pretty easily with our team. Even though there's only 3 Pokemon, they're still pretty powerful as we're able to beat down both the mini bosses, go into Cerulean City, and from there we actually go out and groom our Pokemon. That sounds a little weird, but we're going to groom our Riolu until we're able to evolve it into a Lucario, and then we're able to face off against Misty next. Misty's giving me the second gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against her using my Pikachu. Pikachu's able to fake out and Spark into the Frogadier. I chose Spark because Pikachu actually has a naturally high physical attack. It's actually better off that we use Spark, and we're able to Thunder Wave into the Starmie as we're able to catch it with a status, and then go out into my Haunter to sleep the Lantern, and then I'm going to get a few ominous wins off against the Floatzel and the Starmie, eventually knocking out the Starmie, going down to the Floatzel, but that's okay as I go out into my Lucario against the Lantern. I'm going to be able to Swords Dance in front of the Floatzel, and then Mach Punch to knock him out, and then Force Palm twice to knock out the Lantern as we're able to beat Misty. Not a lot of issues there. From there, in the newest update, they actually switch out Nugget Bridge for a much harder Nugget Bridge, as I'm struggling a little bit against these trainers, as you can see. But from there, once we head into Vermilion City, there's actually a few things for us to do. We're going to look for another Pokemon with this Egg Immersion. Unfortunately, we spent a little bit of time here, and we're unable to find any Pokemon on Ash's team from here. But we're able to go back and catch ourselves a Pipey in Route 22, I believe, and then trade it with this NPC in this house specifically to get ourselves a Galarian Farfetch, which we're able to groom up again. Again, that's just a weird terminology. But we're able to evolve our Farfetch into Surfetch, which for some reason Ash has on his team. And then we're going to head into the SSN, which is possibly the hardest fight in my opinion in the entire game. This fight is just difficult for no reason. This trainer is like so well built for so early on. It's so annoying. But we're able to beat him and then head into the next gym fight in the game. We're able to face off against Lieutenant Surge next. Lieutenant Surge is going to be the 3rd gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against his... I think someone told me it's like Pincurchin, something like Pincurchin. I think it's Pincurchin. Anyways, we're gonna start the battle off against that thing, and we're gonna discharge into him. As I thought he's gonna let me knock him out, as he switches out into his Vigavolt, and I just sacked my Pikachu here. Even though I don't have a lot of resources, I'm just gonna sack one of my mons as I'm able to get a free switch into my Lucario. Lucario would knock out the Vigavolt with a Rock Tomb as he sends out his Bolton. I survive a Fire Fang, and then a Bone Rush would knock him out pretty easily. His Manectric comes out, he's obviously gonna knock me out, so I'm just gonna sack him. Poor Lucario. And then from there, I'm gonna switch out into my Haunter, which survived a Charge Beam, surprisingly. I didn't think Haunter be able to survive anything. Catch the Raichu with a Shadow Ball to knock him out, and then a Pincurchin as well. And then the final Pokemon will be his Manectric, which I'm able to knock out with my Surfetch, as I'm able to beat down Lieutenant Surge pretty easily. From there, we're going to head into Rock Tunnel, and we don't have a single issue at all. I don't think our Pokemon went down. I lied. It just went down in front of my face. Surfetch went down. But from there, before we head into the next gym, we're going to do a few more things. We're going to evolve our Haunter into a Gengar, and also get the TM for Psychic for my Gengar from this NPC in Saffron City, and then face off against Erica next. Erica is going to be the grass type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Gengar to Hypnosis into the Rillaboom, take a Grassy Glide, which he doesn't have anymore. He got nerfed in Scarlet and Violet, I believe, and Sludge would knock him out. I'm also able to outspeed the Serperior and Hypnosis and Sludge it to knock him out. And then the Venusaur comes out next. I decided to just go straight for a Psychic. I landed a Psychic on him. He survives it pretty well, but he missed a Sleep Powder as I'm able to Psychic once again and knock him out in 2 shots. Her next Pokemon's giving me an Electrode. I sack my Pikachu and then go out into my Lucario, which will Ice Punch it and knock him out. And her final Pokemon will be a Meganium. I sack my poor Lucario, which is fine. I go out to my Gengar, which has Sludge, 4 times weak to it. I'm able to knock out Erica and get the 4th Gym Badge in the game. And we can move on into the game corner, which we're able to buy a bunch of TMs and also get our next party member, which is going to be a Dratini. Ash has a powerful team with a Dragonite, Lucario, Gengar. See some nice Pokemon. You see how I didn't mention Pikachu or Surfetch? But from there, we're going to be able to face off against Giovanni next. Giovanni is going to be a pretty easy fight, as we're able to knock out his Honchkrow with my Gengar and end the fight. We also beat down a Marowak in the Pokemon Tower, and also beat down Ariana and Archer in Silphco, and then have our rematch against Giovanni, which is a pretty easy battle, as you can see. From there, we can move on and face off against Sabrina next. Sabrina is going to be the 5th gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against her using my Gengar and my Lucario. Gengar is going to Shadow Ball into the Hatterene. I'm going to go for a Rock Slide immediately. We're going to make sure we knock out the Hatterene to avoid a Trick Room. My Gengar does not survive an Expanding Force, as you can see, but I'm going to go out to my Surfetch against her Gardevoir, as I'm able to Leaf Blade and outspeed the Gardevoir. And also my Lucario is able to get a Rock Slide off against the Indeedee. It flinches the Indeedee, and we knock out the Gardevoir, and the battle should be over at this point. Because she has no more threats, her Ursaluna comes on next. I'm able to just double attack the Indeedee. The Ursaluna is still alive. I'm able to Brick Break into the Porygon 2 and close combat into the Ursaluna. Eventually, it's going to get knocked out by its own burn, and the Porygon 2 is not going to survive against Pikachu and my Dragonite. Oh, she still has a Groudon? Oh, it actually gets pretty close here. I'm able to actually survive against the Groudon. Very lucky. It gets paralyzed, and then I'm able to Dragon Rush it. Very close, actually. Very close. We're able to beat Sabrina and move on into Fuchsia City. Now, in Fuchsia City, this cycling road always pains me. Eventually, I am able to get through it, but it pains me. From there, we could go into this house and teach our Pokemon some egg moves by guessing some noises from Pokemon. Luckily enough, it is set mode, so I don't have to play the music. I just know the answer. And from there, I could face off against Koga next. Koga is going to be the 6th gym leader in the game, and I'm going to start the battle off against him using my trusty Pikachu. Pikachu's getting Zippy Zap into the Swallow to knock him out in one shot. The Dragon Ball comes out, it's getting U-turn and then hits itself, get it static on itself, as I'm able to also nuzzle into the Drapion. And the battle should be over now, as I'm able to go out to my Dragonite and then Dragon Dance in front of him. I Dragon Dance twice and then Dual Wing me to knock out the Drapion, the Selgor, the Greninja, everything else goes down. The Dragon Ball goes down to one shot, so does the Toxicity, and we're able to beat down Koga pretty easily. We also get the Life Orb from him and also face off against Chuck to get the Focus Sash, which is always going to be on my Pikachu. From there, we can go into Seafoam Island, go into this Raid Den, and then face off against our Dracovish. Dracovish is going to be our final member on our team, and we messed up a few times. But lucky enough, we finally got him on this attempt, as we're able to catch him, add him to our team, and then face off against Price next. Price is going to be a pretty easy battle, where we actually end up beating him with my Pikachu, and we get the Choice Scarf from him. From there, they actually switched up Blaine's Gym, where you're forced to face off against trainers. So, unfortunately, I do black out in some of these fights, which is surprising, because it caught me off guard. Blaine's Gym is difficult. From there, we're going to face off against Blaine himself. Blaine's going to be the 7th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Gengar to Hypnosis into his Torkoal and then just allow me to knock him out, which lets me knock him out. He then switches out into his Charizard Y, which isn't too big of a deal. I sack my Lucario because I know that thing's not going to be too useful, as I go out to my Dracovish to one-shot him in the sun with a Vision Red. This thing is so powerful. I can see why he has it on his team. I can see why he became the world champion. I go out to my Gengar next. I could Hypnosis into the Exeggutor, and then unfortunately he has a Focus Sash. But I go out to my Pikachu to Zippy Zap into him. He goes out to a Cinderace. I'm able to paralyze him. Not even through Nuzzle, but I get him down to low HP. I go out into my Surfetch. I'll knock him out with a knockoff. His Sunflora comes on next. I'm able to Meteor Assault him, knock out the Sunflora, and then finish the battle off against the Exeggutor using my Choice Scarf Vision Red Dracovish. Oh, also he has a Type Lotion that goes down in one shot. From there, we're forced to face off against Archer and Ariana in the Cerulean Cave, which aren't too difficult fights at all. So we're able to beat down both Archer and Ariana and face off against Giovanni in the final fight. We're lucky to have Lance as a teammate for once, as we're able to knock him out. We also use Destiny Bond. This is the only time I use Destiny Bond in the game, I think. And we're able to beat down Giovanni, face off against the 8th gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him. I didn't mention on the UI just yet. The UI is actually really cool. I like the black color scheme for the HP bar and also the text box, which is really nice. But we're going to start the battle off against the Aerodactyl and just knock him out without any bother at all, as we're able to get some chip damage against the Dracovish. But we got to sack my Lucario. I don't know why I sacked him, but I go out to my Dragonite next. I'm a Dragon Dance in front of his Duraludon. I get a second Dragon Dance off against him, actually. He goes for a Draco Meteor. I have multi-skill. I'm an Earthquake and knock out his Duraludon and also his Dracovish, as nothing's going to outspeed me. He sends out his Dragonite next. I'm able to Dragon Rush into him and one-shot him, surprisingly. And an Earthquake into his Magearn. I just sweep him. I just realized I forgot. I played this a few days ago, and I forgot I swept Claire. So, I don't know why I'm commenting like it's an intense battle. I swept Claire, and then we're going to face off against Brendan next. Brendan, unfortunately, does a lot of damage to me, but we're able to eventually sweep down his entire team using my Dragonite. And we head into Victory Road next. Victory Road is actually pretty easy until we actually start running out of PP. So, my Lucario is actually running out of PP at the end of this. My entire team is, actually. We get to the final battle of that, and we can clear through it pretty easily. From there, we're going to head into Indigo Plateau, which isn't too bad. We got all our Pokemon ready. We have all the items we want. So we're going to head into the Elite Four and face off against Lorelei next. And again, I always face against Lorelei's Ice Team, which is super annoying. I don't like that. So it's going to be a bit of a pain. Fortunately, it does take me a while to get the combination against Lorelei, but we're going to start the battle off against her using my Choice Scarf Lucario and my Pikachu. Pikachu's going to fake out into the Ninetales as I'm able to Meteor Mash into the Glaceon to knock him out. It does not knock out the Glaceon somehow, but I'm able to Extreme Speed using my Dragonite to knock out the Glaceon, and then Meteor Mash to outspeed the Ninetales to knock him out. Get a double KO just for the sack of my Pikachu. Then she decides to send out her Calyrex and also her Rotom. I decide to Dragon Rush into the Calyrex, hoping I can knock him out in the same turn as I use Meteor Mash, as it works out pretty well as we're able to knock out the Calyrex. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Abomasnow, which isn't going to do too much damage. Actually, it does do a lot of damage. It knocks my Dragonite, but somehow it doesn't knock out my Lucario, as I'm able to get a Meteor Mash onto him and knock him out before I go down to Hail. So that works somehow. I then go out to my Dracovish and my Sirfetch'd against his Azumarill and Rotom, which are her last two Pokemon. I'm able to Super Fang into him and then get him down to low HP. Then go out to my Gengar to Sludge Bomb into the Azumarill and then Super Fang into the Rotom. Lucky enough, I am able to knock out the Rotom and finish off against Lorelei. Super Fang actually came in handy a lot for some reason. I don't know. I really like Super Fang on the Dracovish. Doesn't make too much sense, but it works. From there, we're going to face off against Bruno next. Bruno is going to be the fighting type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Dragonite. Dragonite is going to dual wing beat, knock out the Infernape pretty easily. He then sends out his Zacian, which I'm like, well, I'm going to go out to my Pikachu to nuzzle him for sure. And then from there, I decide to sack my Pikachu, obviously. Go out to my Lucario to Meteor Mash into him, sack him, obviously. And then Gengar will knock out the Zacian for us. And then his Urshifu comes on next. He's going to knock out my poor Gengar. But from there, I could just go out to my Dragonite, survive any move, go for a Dragon Dance, and then dual Wing Beat twice to knock out the Lucario. And then Urshifu goes down to dual Wing Beat. The Conqueror goes down, the Como goes down, the Urshifu goes down. Everything goes down to dual Wing Beat as Dragonite is just super broken. Especially with Dragon Dance. This thing should be nerfed. Dragon Dance I think they should have nerfed Dragon Dance. That's a hot take. I should make a hot take video. Anyways, from there, we're going to face off against Agatha next. Agatha is going to start the battle off against us using a Grimmsnarl. It's going to get knocked out with a Meteor Mash, and then she switched out into her Dragapult, which isn't too bad of a fight. I mean, it's not too bad of a matchup. I stayed in Meteor Mash. I don't get it. I missed. Then I switch out to my Gengar, which has the Choice Scarf on it. It's going to Shadow Ball and knock out the Dragapult for me, as I'm able to go out to my Sirfetch'd against the Hydreigon. I go for a Meteor Assault and knocks him out, obviously. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Marshadow, which I go out to my Dragonite, which is going to Dragon Dance and then dual Wing Beat to knock out the Marshadow. And then, unfortunately, I'm not fast enough to knock out the Spectre, as it knocks me out. But I go out to my Pikachu, survive any hits, and then lucky I don't get flinched. I'm able to nuzzle the Spectre and then knock him down to low HP, and then Shadow Ball using my Gengar to knock out both her Gengar and the Spectre, as I'm able to beat down Agatha and move on to the next Elite Four member. We're going to face off against Lance next. Lance is going to start the battle off against us using an Aerodactyl. We're going to Meteor Mash into him, get an attack boost, which is crazy. Extreme Speed to knock him out. He then switches out into a Salamence. I go to my Dragonite. For some reason, he went for an Earthquake, so I go out into my Dragonite to Dragon Rush into him. And then I don't have Extreme Speed on at the moment, but he goes for a Dragon Dance again against me, and then I do Wing Beat and knock out the Salamence without losing any HP. He then goes out to his own Dragonite, which I'm just so confused. Why didn't he attack me? He had a Dragon Dance already, so from there, I'm going to break the multi-scale of his Dragonite and then go out into my Dracovish to Dragon Rush into him to knock him out. Somehow it worked out like that. And then he switched out to his Dialga. I go for a Super Fang to knock him down to half HP. Out into my Sirfetch'd next, and I thought Sirfetch'd was going to be able to Meteor Assault and knock him out. It almost does. He's going to Roar Time me and roar me out. I go out to my Sirfetch'd against his Dracovish. He's going to knock me out with a Psychic Fang. From there, I could go out to my Pikachu just to sack him and get a nuzzle off against the Dracovish. Then I go out to my Dragonite to Dragon Dance in front of him, dual Wing Beat to knock out the Dracovish, and then 2 Earthquakes would knock out the Melmetal. My Gengar was able to knock out the Melmetal and also the low HP Dialga, and we're able to beat down Lance pretty easily. Surprisingly, that worked out pretty well, as we're going to face off against our rival next. Our rival is going to be the champion of the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Pikachu. Pikachu is able to fake out and then get a static on Pheromosa. And then Zippy Zap should knock him out as he goes out to his Ditto to duplicate me and then knock me out. I guess he won that battle, but I go for a Dragon Dance in front of him as he goes out to a Groudon. I'm able to Dragon Rush and flinch the Groudon. I'm like, oh, of course it happens like this. His Groudon gets Earthquake, knocks him out, and from there, I thought he's gonna go for Sucker Punches. I'm not gonna lie, so I went for a Dragon Dance. He goes for a Dark Hole. Does a lot of damage, so I decided to go for a Dragon Rush, and luckily enough, I do knock him out. His next Pokemon is going to be a Pheromosa. I knock out pretty easily. His Metagross goes down as well. one-shot it. Wow, this Dragonite is super powerful. I could knock out this Eternatus, but I do know he has Ditto in the back, which I don't want to mess with. So I'm able to sack my Dragonite, go out into my Lucario after this extreme speed to knock out the Eternatus. Whoa, that didn't work. He's at 1 HP exactly. I go out to my Surf Edge. I'm going to take a Dynamax Cannon and then Leaf Blade for some reason to knock out the Eternatus. He's going to copy into my Surf Edge as I'm able to Fission Rend into him to knock him out. Okay, okay, there we go. I do knock him out. As we're able to beat down our rival and beat down Pokemon Radical Red 3.1 using only Ash's World Champion team. Was that a challenging challenge at all? No, not really. This challenge was pretty easy. It was very tame. I'm not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, it was pretty fun to do. I'm glad Ash Ketchum became the world champion. It's 25 years, about 8 to 10 years, a little too late for me as I stopped watching the Pokemon anime. So unfortunately, he was past my time. But for the people that kept up with him, shout out you guys because he became the champion. And that will be the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It means a lot to me you guys make it this far. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.